Hey there everyone, this is Samuel Johnson and welcome back to the Lyoko Retrospectives, and today we'll be discussing episode 36 of Code Lyoko Marabunta. And in this episode, we kind of get some slight progression with the Franz Hopper stuff. Again, slight. It's only in that his name is mentioned, but otherwise he really has nothing to do with the plot. But anyway, in this episode, Jeremy creates a new program to combat Xana. Pretty much by looking through Franz Hopper's notes and being inspired by their science teacher giving them a look by kind of demonstrating ants and discussing how they operate as a hive mind in their colony, he tries to create a program called the Marabunta. Essentially, it's supposed to be a hive mind organism that is supposed to whose sole purpose is to seek out Xana's monsters and destroy them. Which, as he tries to explain this to the group, but all of them each have their own different things. So he pretty much spends the good part of that. As such, he spends a good part of his day pretty much programming in the Marabunta and ultimately virtualizing it into Lyoko. And in Lyoko, it looks kind of like this weird purple blob, so to speak. Like the initial Marabunta cell is like this giant purple orb that seems to ooze out other cells, like other that just continues to expand and grow. When he manages to finish it, he manages to finish it. He calls in Aelita, and he manages to call in Aelita and Odd, who were he managed to call in Aelita and Odd, and wants them to and tells them about the Marabunta, and even says they can go into Lyoko and check it out. Aelita's a bit hesitant to look into the Marabunta to do this, as there might be a flaw. But Jeremy says, "Oh, it's fine. It's from Franz Hopper. It's from Franz Hopper. It won't cause us any problems. But if there is, I can pull the plug." As such, Aelita reluctantly agrees, and they go into Lyoko and check it out. And sure enough, the Marabunta seems to be doing exactly what it was programmed to do, as they see a whole gang of Xana's monsters being each eaten up by this thing, and even finding ways to take out the ones that are difficult, such as with the Hornets. As no matter how as it causes pretty much an explosion that pulls them into the ground. It pretty much shows the Marabunta is almost unstoppable, as every time they destroy at least a part of it, it just grows back and it just keeps growing, consuming the monsters bit by bit. Of course, while Odd and Aelita are a little bit creeped out by it, its effectiveness is made clear. And they decide, combined with their creeped outness, that they're just going to try and leave. But then things go awry, as the Marabunta goes straight for Aelita. Odd manages to save her before it consumes her, but they have to make a run for it. Jeremy's of course wondering what the heck's going on, because the Marabunta was only programmed to go after Xana's monsters, and it turns out that it's still following that program. It turns out that with the virus that Xana implanted in Aelita, the Marabunta thinks that she's one of his monsters. Ergo, it's going after her. As such, they realize, yeah, the thing's a bust, so they try to deprogram it, but unfortunately, the Marabunta has grown too big and taking up too much space. Because Jeremy say that he was using too much hardware was going on the computer to send the vehicles, and most likely the Marabunta was taking up that hardware. So it pretty much means that the Marabunta is now autonomous. As Jeremy tries to recall it, but it won't go away. It pretty much is just now operating on its own now. And it's pretty much just growing and consuming Lyoko, which in a way kind of makes sense, considering that its programming was to destroy Xana's monsters and most likely Xana itself. And since Lyoko is Xana's home, yeah, it makes sense. Excuse me. As such, the best thing they can do is just get Aelita out of Lyoko, and Jeremy has to find a way to pull the plug from the outside. But unfortunately, Marabunta knows what they're doing and manages to spread to the tower that they would have used as an escape route, so they're pretty much cut off. And unfortunately, the Marabunta begins to catch up to them, and it's pretty much just two against against this giant organism, so yeah, the odds are not in their favor, and so they get help from Xana himself, as he begins virtualizing in monsters to actually give them aid. A crab to send Aelita out of harm's way, some boxes, tarantulas, Cankerlites, even another crab to offer to kind of act as cover for Aelita. It turns out that, of course, the group is confused by this, but pretty much they manage to rationalize. But Jeremy figures out that Xana needs Aelita alive, While it probably is within his benefit to get rid of the Marabunta since it's going after his monsters, it's also he needs to keep Aelita safe so that he can get to her memory. If she's gone, then whatever is in her memory that he wants is gone with it. So, yeah, for the first time in the series' run, Xana is actually working with the Lyoko group, and yeah, I like it. It's like it's just a kind of a small thing, but I like seeing them actually working alongside each other. I'll get more into it at the end of the summary when I get into my thoughts on the episode, but yeah, it's kind of nice. But still, while their numbers have grown now, unfortunately, the Marabunta is still growing strong, so everyone's just still getting backed into a corner. Jeremy manages to call in Yumi and tries calling Yumi and Auric, and Auric is in a funk because of the B plot, which I'll get into later. But Yumi managed to go ahead. But Yumi managed to go in and try and fight them off, which eventually results in her getting virtualized by the Marabunta. But Ulrich managed to put his pride aside, and he does virtualize, and he does manage to get into Lyoko. But again, they're still having problems. But Jeremy manages to find a solution. He manages to craft a virus that's supposed to go after the Marabunta, and he programs it into one of Odd's laser arrows. All he has to do is just shoot the original Marabunta cell, and the whole thing will just fall apart. As such, with the help of a crab, Odd manages to venture through the Marabunta horde, and eventually does manage to find the original cell. And as the crab gets consumed, he manages to shoot off the final arrow, and the whole thing just goes boom. As such, everything's now back to normal. And one of the things that I kind of like is that Xana doesn't immediately take the advantage of the opportunity to attack the group. Instead, he just has the monsters take a bow and leave them alone, which I like. I like stuff like that. Essentially, it's kind of like the honor and victory sort of thing. And while we know Xana is a bastard, at the very least, I do like that he still says, "We fought together once. We fought well. Next time we meet, I'm probably gonna kill you." I like that. So yeah, at this point, at the end of the episode, the group reprimands Jeremy for what he did, and Jeremy takes his blame like a man. He pretty much just says, "Yeah, I effed up. I didn't think it through. And I'll probably need, if I want to do this again, I had to work out the kinks, etc." And so the episode ends with them going back to the dorm and people wondering about Ulrich because of the B plot. We'll get to that. So yeah. Overall, I actually really like this episode. It's one of the episodes that I actually did. It's another one of the episodes that I did see as a kid, and it's one of the episodes that I remembered because I liked the whole idea surrounding it. The Marabunta, as a concept, was pretty interesting, and when you actually saw it in execution, I thought it was actually pretty cool to look at. Just this weird blobby thing that just spreads out and consumes. And again, it's one of those things that. And again, it's pretty much just it's a program gone awry at the end of the day, as it begins doing things it's not supposed to, like going after Aelita. Though again, that was kind of Jeremy's fault, but it was an unintentional flaw. Otherwise, it was an interesting thing to see. And again, one of the things that I liked about it. Sorry, my dog's right there, and he's wandering around. So, yeah, hold on. Oh, okay, sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, the Marabunta. But yeah. But again, one of the things that came of it was seeing Xana actually working with the Lyoko group, which, yeah, I like that. Like, we see, like, Xana has been a constant thorn in everybody's side. Throughout all of Season 1 and so far in Season 2, he has been a complete and utter bastard, wanting to just doing everything, and just being cruel and unusual. The only time we saw him show emotions is in the suffering of others, or just to hurt someone, or if it's just curiosity. So to see him actually send his monsters in and actually help out the Lyoko group, yeah, I like it. Seeing the image of Odds fighting alongside the Cankrolites in boxes while a crab is guarding Aelita, I thought was a really nice image, and I did like that kind of show of unity. I like those kind of, and I do like those kind of stories when there's a threat that's so great that even the standard bad guy has to say, "Look, I can't fight him on my own. We need to work together here." And I like those kinds of stories here. And so to actually see it in fruition in the show is nice. While it is just brief, and really it is just mostly them shooting at the Marabunta, it's still nice, and I do kind of like them working in tangent, like when Odd had got had to shoot the Marabunta's original organism, and Xana volunteered to hit one of his crabs, which I guess makes sense because what I can gather, they are probably expendable. As when Xana first showed that he wanted to help them, he virtualized in a crab, which is the first time I think we've actually seen the monsters actually get virtualized in. That to give Ilia a hand as she was cornered and the crab let her grab its leg and then threw her out of harm's way while it got consumed. I like that. So again, I liked that. Like that. And again, to Xana's credit, I like that he didn't. I kind of like the honor and victory type of thing. Like Xana acknowledged, like yeah, while the group doesn't buy that Xana is honorable, and they still know he's the big bad, and he wants Ilea's memory for reasons they still don't know. At the very least, I kind of like that once the threat is over, he's at least willing enough to bow his head and say, we did well, goodbye. It's just, I like that sort of thing. You know, at the end of the day, he's still the villain, and the next time he shows his head, he's probably gonna do his best to kill them in the most terrific of ways. But at the very least, I do like that when you're on his side, that just for this one moment, we saw him be a little honorable. We know it's not gonna last, and we know he's not an honorable person. But again, I like that sort of thing. But what about this episode didn't work? Oh, well, in a word, Ulrich. I didn't talk about his plot in the main summary because the main thing was the Marabunta, but yeah, let's talk about Ulrich's plot. Pretty much, the reason Yumi didn't want to go with Jeremy when he designed the Marabunta program was because she was going for swim meet. She was going to go do it. She was going to do some diving at the pool. I think it was a school thing, but don't quote me on that. And Ulrich being jealous, decided to follow her there because, well, William was going to be there. So during swim meets, William took a high dive into the pool, and so Ulrich, to try and one up him, did the same thing, but he wound up slipping on the board and on the diving board and wound up falling flat on his face into the pool. Which, yeah, that's kind of a scary thing. As such, William managed to save him, but he needed to get mouth to mouth. This time, in this case, given by Jim, and Ulrich got so sorry. Ulrich got so embarrassed that he pretty much went to his room in a huff. And yeah, this episode made me realize something about Kolyoko. I don't like Ulrich. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's a bad person. But he is such a jealous, clingy turd. It didn't really sink in and I've been mostly kind of making excuses for him because, well, he's a teenager, he's a kid, and kids can be stupid with these sorts of things. And to be fair, when he and Yumi do, and to his credit, he and Yumi do get along well, and so forth. He and Yumi do get along, but I'm kind of realizing that their romance thing is a double-edged sword. It's not, because sometimes it's cute. I like it when they actually begin expressing their emotions for each other, but then in another episode, they'll suddenly be jealous of something. Like, maybe Yumi will be jealous that Ulrich is hanging out with Sissy, and likewise, Ulrich is jealous that Yumi is hanging out with another guy, in this case, William. It gets really annoying, and I'm sorry to say. And in this episode, Ulrich, he just kind of turns into a complete and utter jackass, because he almost gets injured when he tries showing off for Yumi, and William, to his credit, does go in to save him. Now, again, and ultimately, yeah, but at the same time, he's just pissy and moaning and just treating William like he's a problem. And it gets to the point where William actually does confront him and say, look, we're not a problem right now, but unless you actually talk to Yumi from the heart, then I will be a problem. Yeah, yeah, it does, and yeah, it makes it clear William does like Yumi and wants to be with her. There's even a moment in the episode where William and Sissy sit down to talk to each other, and they're both talking about why they have feelings for that respective member of the Lyoko group. Sissy to Ulrich that apparently she's had a crush on him since they were in elementary school, and William just thinks he and Yumi are soulmates, which is stupid. But again, they're teenagers, whatever. But honestly, despite that thing, I kind of look at William in a more favorable light because he's not jealous of Ulrich. Like, okay, yeah, he is jealous. Sorry, but he's not a complete dickweed about it. He only confronts Ulrich when Ulrich is acting like a pissant. He goes to check on him when he's in a funk and wants to know if he's okay after falling in, and Ulrich is just confrontational and being a dick. And that's when William pretty much tells him off and says, "You need to talk to her and learn and get her and actually understand your feelings, or I will most likely, or I'm gonna take her." Again, it makes him look more favorable. He's jealous of Ulrich, yes, and he makes it clear that when he even says if Ulrich wasn't around, then I'd have Yumi. But that's like one moment. Unlike Ulrich, he's not mopey and angry. He's not jealous that Yumi's hanging out with Ulrich, and so he's just spending time with her when he gets the chance. And I'm sorry, it makes Ulrich look like such an annoying person. Y'all usually said that they're teenagers, so of course they're gonna make stupid decisions. But I'm sorry, it's getting annoying at this point. Even if in one episode they cement that they love each other or they care about each other, then in another episode they'll be distant. Ulrich will be angry, or Yumi will be angry. But as far as I can tell, Ulrich's the one that acts more pissy than Yumi. Yumi is just at least trying to be friendly. I think the only time I've ever seen her get angry at Ulrich for something that was unreasonable was or unreasonably angry at Ulrich was when he agreed to go out with Sissy to be able to try and help her. But no, it's just, I'm sorry. Ulrich was just really annoying in this episode, and it kind of starts hitting me just how common this is becoming with him. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Especially when it's William who, despite his jealous and stupid talk about, oh, we were destined for each other, is being more mature. Yeah, they still make it clear as a teenager. He still does that stupid thing. But at the very least, he's the one that tells Ulrich off, and is the one that gets him, and is the one that ultimately pushes him to finally act and go to Lyoko. Because that's another thing. He's ignoring the group's calls because he's being pissy. Look, I know you're being pissy because you got embarrassed at the pool in front of your crush, but God dang it, you're fighting evil! What if Xana attacked? You should at least call. At least Yumi was good enough to pick up the damn phone. But no, even better. She went to Ulrich while he was in his mope, and she told him, look, Jeremy needs us, and he didn't. Ulrich was still doing nothing. He just lied there in his bed, even though Yumi just told him, Jeremy needs our help, Eileena's in trouble. It wasn't until William gave him the reason you suck speech that he actually got off his ass and did something. I'm sorry, but this is not well read. This is dumb. I don't care if he's a teenager. These are your friends. Combine that with what he did last week. I'm sorry. Ulrich is slowly becoming my least favorite character in the group. All it's going to take is one more, maybe not one more decision, but still. These are just really dumb, and I've tried making excuses for him. He's a teenager, again, but when the object of your jealousy tells you, get over it, then maybe you should probably take a step back, especially if your friend is in a possible life or death situation. I'm sorry, but screw you, Ulrich. Screw you. So yeah, got that off my chest. But, yeah. While the B-plot sucked, the A-plot was fine. The Marabunta was an interesting concept. I like seeing it executed. I like seeing it kind of growing across Lyoko. I liked seeing the group end up working with Xana. Overall, perfectly fine episode. Really enjoyed it. And Ulrich's a dumbass. And that's where I'm going to end it. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. I'm Samuel Johnson, and I'll see you next week. Take care.